All right, what's going on out there? Welcome to another Thursday. That's right, we are here. It's Thursday, and you know what we do on Thursday. That's right, if you're tuning in, it is 108 Praise Radio, Voicing the Gospel. Voicing the Gospel. And this is the Living Day by Day show, and we are in progress today. Listen, we got an amazing show, but before we tell you anything about the show, I need for you to take a moment out. I know you heard the music. I need for you to take a moment out and let somebody know that 108 Praise Radio, Voicing the Gospel, and Living Day by Day radio show is now online. That's right. We are running the airways right now, and in that music, it's going to be phenomenal. I know you hear it, but listen, I want you to send somebody a message and let them know Living Day by Day show is on the radio right now. Tweet them, send them an email, fax them, throw a can through a window. Let them know that it's live. We are live right now. We have a powerful show on today, and it's going to be loving up in here. But listen, you know, I don't sit by myself. I don't stand by myself. I don't walk by myself. I always got somebody who's powerful, who's anointed. Hey, you know, they got to look good, smell good. That ain't nobody but other than Elder Lakiba Wallace up in this place. And listen, she's going to be joining us in just a moment. But I wanted to tell you guys, we are discussing a powerful topic on today, very, very powerful, and it's going to be on and cracking. You hear what it said? It's on and cracking. So thank you for joining the Living Day by Day show. This is Preach Elder Brown, and I can't roll by myself. I got Elder Lakiba Wallace rocking with me. Can you hear her rocking?
Yes.
What's going on?
I heard the smell good and look good. I said, Lord, am I on the right show?
Oh, my good. Hey, when we talk about love got to look good and smell good. Somebody holler back at me now.
Back at him. Well, what's up, family? Welcome to another edition of the Living Day by Day show. As Elder Brown said, this is your girl, Elder Lakiba Wallace, and I'm just so excited about the title of this show. Y'all know I'm always excited because God is always putting his super on my natural, so I'm always excited, Elder Brown. But I'm super duper excited about this show tonight entitled Born to Love. And I really
Born to Love.
To love, yes, I'm just super excited about that because I think often people think that they are born to do something else, you know, like born to shop and born to run up people's credit cards and, you know, not pleasing to their spouse, more or less pleasing to God. And so I'm excited about this show entitled Born to Love.
Oh, it's going to be phenomenal. It is going to be phenomenal. I'm ready for it. Like I said earlier, listen, it's about the love, and it's going to be going down. Lakiba, I'm so ready to get into this.
I know. I am so ready to get into it. And so let's just do it, you know. But before we get into that, we have to always take some time and just thank the listeners and the supporters of the Living Day by Day show, because where would we be? I know that may sound cliche-ish, but where would we be without the supporters and the listeners of the Living Day by Day show and the supporters and listeners of 108 Praise Radio? I'm grateful for all of the subscribers that continue to just support the Living Day by Day magazine. So kudos to all of you guys out there. Please continue to support, show your love, spread the word. Tell somebody about the Living Day by Day show. Please tell somebody about the Living Day by Day magazine as well. So we're super duper, Elder Brown and I, that is, super duper excited about the support as we continue to travel and just do what God has called us to do. We're excited about that, super duper excited about that. And we have to give big ups to God as well for making it happen.
Big ups to God. Oh, yeah, big ups to God.
So let's get into the show tonight. And so, of course, it's entitled Born to Love. And so, Elder Brown, I really want to, this was not something that I just, said, hey, I want to talk about this. This is something that God really pressed upon my spirit to really do a show. I mean, we always have guests on and we talk about their platform, their book, their music, and all that kind of stuff. But who is really talking about what love really is. You know, were you born? What were you really put on this earth for? Because often we have a lot of fighting, we have a lot of bickering, we have a lot of offenses, we have a lot of, you know, issues going on in our families, on our job, you know, and all those things really could be dealt with if we just learn how to love, if we realize that we are born to love. You know, people are going to have fault because nobody's perfect, you know. And so how do we get past people's faults? How do we get past issues and arguments? And you just cut me off on the highway. How do we get past all of that? And the only thing that I can say, because, you know, one thing I learned is that, you know, as God continues to bless you and take you up, you will just always have issues and haters and, you know, people who will just, no matter what, they won't support you. You could walk in the room, they know absolutely nothing about you, and they automatically hate you, you know. And so in order for you to be able to get over that, in order for you to be able to deal with that, there's only one way that I know, and Elder Brown, I'm sure you will correct me, but the only way I know to get over those things is to get over them through love. Because love covers what? All things.
Yes.
And if we know that love covers a multitude of things, then if we just really lead with that, if we lead with love, knowing that I know you just offended me, but I'm going to lead with love. I know you just cussed me out, but I'm going to lead with love. I know you just tried to blacken my name, but I'm going to lead with love. And so how do we get to that point? And so we want you to call in, and we want you to Facebook us and tweet us and all that stuff with your questions about what are you dealing with in your household, or what are you dealing with in on your job or with your children? Because can I tell you that, you know, it's hard. I'm just going to be honest, Elder Brown. It's hard sometimes when you really want to exhibit the love of God, and people are just doing you nasty, doing you dirty, and you've done everything for them. You know, especially your children, when you feel like I've fed this child, Lord, I've clothed this child through what you've allowed me to do. And I've bought every car that you could possibly buy for this child. And then you grow up and you start, what they say, smelling yourself. And then you want to get yourself. You want to turn against me. You know, people don't realize that these issues are happening in the church. I mean, you have families in the church right now who they don't even know where their kids are. You know, mothers against children, and, you know, daughters against their mother, and sons against the father, and the father against the son. It's happening, you know, or you go to the job and you got issues on your job. And so how do you deal with all of that? And again, like I said, the only way that I really know how to deal with that is just through love, because if not, you will continue to walk around with offenses in your heart. And how do you get your prayers through? If you got all this junk all built up inside of you, how do you really get your prayers through God and answered, you know, by God? Because, you know, if God can forgive you from whatever you've done, all the things that you've done, well, let me just make it plain. All the things that you said you wouldn't do again, and you've done again and again. And God has, you know, given you the grace. God has given you mercy. And so why can't you extend that same love, that same level of forgiveness to somebody else? You know, that's my thought, you know.
I'm with that 100%. Listen, I before I even go into that, because I gotta share what you just said. I gotta add some on there. As you guys have heard, you just heard Elder Makiba Wallace. Our show topic today is Born to Love. If you have any questions for me, Elder Wallace, or Preacher Elder Brown, call in. Don't be scared. 770-415-2149. Again, that's 770-415-2149. So, understanding what Born to Love, I like that God has given you this, because in this season of what's going on and what we're facing in our world and different issues that have arisen, we see that there's a lot of hate that is happening. It's really less love, but more hate. Even with some of the marches that we saw, when you look on the news and you look at read the newspapers, the marches are not placed into the idea that the people are marching out of love. People are saying that they're really marching out of hate. and you look at like the Black Lives Matter movement and things of that nature, they feel that that march is not even consistent with love. And, you know, even just recently with the fires and, you know, the Ku Klux Klan or whatever you want to call those group of people. And, you know, there's no love anymore. Everything is about hate. And like you said before, you know, how do we do this? How do we love somebody? I mean, you cut me off and driving, and, you know, if someone want to give you the finger. Oh, y'all know what I'm talking about. Experiencing those things and going through that, and you're like, wait a minute, you know, God talks about love. And in the Bible, God gives us love and shows us love by saying he gave his son. Of course, there's other scriptures that deal with love, but love is a giving. I'm going to get 5 people that may agree with this. But love is a giving. It really is. It's an action. You got to give it. And I think that the kind of world that we're in, Lakiba, is that no one wants to give love because they have been burned and they have went through hurt, ex-boyfriends and ex-husbands, and the kids are acting up. And nobody wants to give love because I can't give you love when I'm mad at you. Or I want to use another word. I can't give you love when, you know, you done peed me off. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I don't want to give you love when, you know, you stole something and now I'm supposed to be nice to you. So we operate out of, you know, response. And,
right.
You know, until we get to this point where we say, okay, I'm going to love you despite what you've done to me. No one wants to do that. There's a movie I want to bring in real quick. In this movie, and I think a lot of the women may call in on this one here, but in this movie, Tyler Perry is the creator of this movie, which is the movie of I'm thinking of it with the woman. It just slipped my mind just a few minutes ago. But in this particular movie, the title's going to come back to me. Y'all just forgive me because I'm going off the top of my head right now. It just came to me, thank God. Diary of a Mad Black Woman. In this movie, we realize that this man who basically is cheating on his wife, been with her for years and the whole 9 yards, and he ends up moving in this other woman while his wife is there. He wants to be done with her, and he's messing around with, you know, these other women. Well, in this whole process in this movie, I'm going to cut it real, real short so you get the point that I'm trying to drive home, is that in this movie, he's a lawyer and something happens. He ends up getting shot. This same wife who he did not want anymore, this same wife who he admired at one point, when he gets shot, he's paralyzed. And in his being paralyzed, she takes care of him. And he asks her, you know, because you would think that all the stuff he did to her, she would have went upside his head, which she did. But you would have expected maybe her to do something more damaging to him as he did to her. Well, in the movie, she showed him love. She helped him out in the wheelchair. But of course, y'all know sisters handled him. You know, she kind of handled him a little bit in the beginning, but she exhilarated love to him. She showed love to him, even though he was a dog, even though he had did what he had did. And she divorced him and didn't have no bad feelings in her heart about it. That's what you call love. When someone has done you wrong, and in the midst of that, instead of you knocking them upside the head, you say, you know what, either I'm going to pray for you. I know that's a hard pill to swallow. But see, when we talk about love is that pill.
I love that. That is so good. But that's just a reason why, you know, we don't have that, because there's so much tit for tat and get back and you did this to me and I'm going to do this to you. Now,
right.
Am I saying that, you know, in my younger years that, you know, I wasn't fully...
Go back.
Yeah, let me go back. Let me just go back when I was like 15. You know? Right. Uh-oh. I wasn't fully walking in love because I never really knew what God expected from me as far as love was concerned. You know, people offend you, you offend them back, you know. And so as time progressed, as I've gone through being hurt, being, you know, ostracized, talked about or whatever, and finding myself wanting to lash out at the issue, the problem, the person, or whatever, God just really began. And even now, God is even still working on me, because none of us are perfect. None of us have arrived, and we are just delivering every word and letter of the fruits of the Spirit. No, we're not doing that. That's the reason why God wants us to have shows like this, to be able to talk about love so we can walk in love. And once we get to that point, we will begin to see our nation make a change. But because we can't get to that point of love, you know, and all too often people, as you said, alluded to earlier, Elder Brown, is that love is giving. You know, and I was reading this book. I just bought this book a couple weeks or so ago, and I was reading this book, and it talked about the secret of the blessing of love is the art of sharing it. And I'll say that again. It said the secret of the blessing of love is the art of sharing it. And so when you said that, you know, that really brought that back to my memory, because what good is love if you're not showing it?
Watch out now.
You're not sharing it. What good is love if you are not sharing it with somebody who needs? Can you realize, or can you believe, it's better said, that people are dying? People are mentally breaking down because they feel like nobody loves them. And so I really, oh God, thank you, Holy Spirit. I really want to talk to those people who, you know, your nest is empty. You're no longer married anymore. Your children are not living in the house anymore. And you feel alone. You don't feel loved. You feel like nobody's really there for me. Every time I need something, there's really nobody for me to call. And God just really wanted me to remind those people that, you know, the Bible said God will never leave you nor forsake you. And yes, we need people. I don't want to, you know, allude to the fact that we don't need people. But can I tell you, Elder Brown, that God knows exactly who to put in your life and who to take out of your life. And we have to get to the point that where, although you might be in the house by yourself, but you are never alone. God will never leave you alone. And when you get to the point to where you understand God's love, then, in my opinion, then you're able to really exude that love out to somebody else, because we don't want our kind of love, because our kind of love is conditional. I'm going to love you if you do this. Ladies, I'm talking to you. I'm going to love you if you buy me that new Mercedes. I'm going to love you if you buy me that diamond ring. I'm going to love you if you give me your credit card. I'm going to love you if you buy me that new house. I'm going to love you if you do all these things. That is not love. That's why I always look at women. Oh, my God. Y'all better help me here. I always kind of look at women a little sideways when you're at a business meeting or whatever. You took 50 minutes to tell me that your husband is the head of the hospital, or your husband is the top lawyer in the firm, or your husband is what are you doing?
Wow.
What are you doing? Because if the brother leaves you, you're going back to the project. Okay? So what are you doing? See, you really love him for what he brings to the table. But what happens when that table is empty?
Ooh-wee.
So your love is based on conditions. It's conditional, because you know, oh, Jesus, thank you, Holy Spirit. You know your pocket can't get you in the nice prestigious area. Your pocket can't get you living in these nice big houses. Your pocket can't get you driving the finest cars. And I'm not speaking to all the women, because I know there's some boss Christian chicks out there.
Stay there.
But the point that I'm making is that it really just moves me the wrong way when I hear women say that. And especially women who, like, don't allow what God has blessed your husband with cloud what God wants to bless you with. Oh, that was good right there. Don't allow that to happen. And that's why you got to get to the point to where, and I know we got to take a commercial break in just about another 2 minutes or so, but don't get to the point to where you are so caught up in unconditional love that you never really understand what loving unconditionally is, because loving unconditionally is the love of God. And if we can get to the point, and we're going to take a commercial break after this, if we can get to the point where we can love everybody unconditionally, I promise you, you will see your household change. You will see issues on your job change. You will see things in your bank account change. Can I tell you, when you ain't exhibiting love, you holding up your own stuff. You holding up your own money. You holding up your own blessings. So you think the people are holding things up because, oh, they just don't like me. Oh, it is going against me again. Sometimes you could be the enemy for yourself.
That's right.
You could be the enemy for yourself. So
Wow.
stop letting people hold up your paper. Stop letting people hold up the blessings that God has for you. And learn how to love unconditionally. I don't care what it is. Now, I'm not going to tell you it will be easy. But I'm going to tell you this and I'm going to go to break. I can't tell you it will be easy. But what I can tell you is that it's sure enough possible for you to be able to walk in unconditional love. And that unconditional love is what I like to call, Elder Brown, is godly love. If you're just tuning into the Living Day by Day show, this is Elder Lakeitha. I, of course, have my sidekick with me. That's none other than Preach Elder Brown. And we're talking today, guys, about born to love. I know you thought you was born to shop. Ladies. I know, men, you thought you was born to have the flyest car on the block. I know all of that. I know you thought you was born to do this and born to do that. But what you're really born to do is you're born to love. We're going to go into a short commercial break, but stay tuned. Tell somebody that the Living Day by Day show is on. We're going to take a commercial break, but we'll be coming right back.
Man, who we waiting on, man?
Man, who we always waiting on? Late mail.
Man, wife let him out the house tonight? You gotta go, man?
What it do? Man, it's about time, baby.
You out the house, bro. I'm just saying, I was probably why I let you out the house tonight, man.
First of all, I'm a grown man. And second of all, my wife don't dictate where I go. We got that good relationship. I don't really hang out because I'm at work 24/7. And the wife done had the baby and been home. But the bills are kicking my butt, man. And the wife stay in church talking about pray about it.
Pray about it.
Pray about it.
What, you supposed to pray the bills away? Man, you got better luck praying that LeBron James headline come back, man. Look, bro, you want to make some serious money, bro? What you need to do is hit you with a lick, bro.
I ain't even going there, dude. I ain't no angel, bro, but I ain't gonna do it.
Think about it, bro.
I told you he's scared, man.
Think about it.
We are put through a test. We are tested on our job. We are tested in our relationship. We are tested with our finances. Families are being tested. Marriages are being tested. Your health is being tested. But I'm here today to let you know that God is the best test taker. He will take your test and turn it into your testimony. Won't he do it?
We're back. I hope you enjoyed that commercial break, that you get something to eat, that you wet your whistle, that you do something. I'm glad that you joined us for the second half here of the Living Day by Day show. It is going on and cracking here at the show. Born to Love, Born to Love. Listen, if you have any questions, feel free to call in at 770-415-2149. Again, 770-415-2149. That's how excited I am when I start reading numbers backwards. I'm reading numbers backwards. Lord, help us up in here. Well, again, thank you for joining us for another half of this Living Day by Day show. We're talking Born to Love. Born to Love. Have you ever looked at a relationship? I saw something today was really, really. It was a warm vision of me seeing. There was a man that was walking with his wife, and they were going into a restaurant or going into the store. Now, I'm not going to tell you exactly what he did because we're on air, but he showed his wife a form of affection. Now, this affection, of course, many people would say, well, I wouldn't have did that. I wouldn't have done that. But listen, when you love someone and you've been with them for quite some time, you guys have built a relationship, the stability is there, you're paying the bills together, you're working out together, you're eating together, you're fussing together, fussing together, that's what I said. Whatever you're doing to help take the relationship to the next level, that relationship cannot make it without love. It cannot make it without some form of affection. And I know many of you out there, a lot of us, we are more inward affection. In other words, we like to show affection when we're pretty much behind closed doors, maybe hold her hand, maybe whisper in her ear. But for the men, a good woman definitely enjoys some outer affection. If you're out at the store, you rub her shoulder, grab her hand, those types of things, because it shows not only do you have affection for her, but it shows that you love her, because you do things that will probably make you feel uncomfortable. Now, I know a lot of men may not roll with this, but it is the truth, especially for the married men. You understand and you know that if you do not show your wife love, you got a problem. Holler up in this piece. And so you have to find a medium where you're going all the way out for her. You got to find a medium, to the ladies, that you're going all the way out for him. It has to have an existence of love. It has to have some formality of showing God's love. Now, there are different forms of love. You have agape, you have eros, you have the Christian love. And so understanding the type of love that God wants us to have is the love that, you would say it's Christian-based, which would be agape, which is an unconditional. In other words, I love you despite how loud you snore. I love you no matter how many times I got to wash the pillowcase because you drool. I love you no matter how big your shoe size is. That's love, because it has no way where it says, I'm going to stop loving you based upon this, which is unconditional love. Then there's a eros love, where this love is filled with passion. It is filled with, I'm going to get in trouble with this one here, it's filled with a lot of stuff that may not be love, may be lust. But you have to find that level where you're showing and you're exemplifying some real, true love. I'm talking about the kind of love to make her hair stand up on her back. Watch out now. Well, I shouldn't have said that. Maybe the hair not standing on the back. Help me out here, Lakeeba. Maybe I should have said hair on the back. That didn't come out too well. How about this? Hair stand up on her head. Okay. I don't want the hair to stand up on her back, because then that means you need to shave. But wait a minute. If you love her, it don't matter if she got hair on her back anyway.
Oh, no.
Ooh, I'm going to get in trouble. The woman, I love you. I don't care if you got hair on your back. I love you. If your nails ain't long, Love is not based upon when you get to picking at her saying, well, you know, this is wrong and that is wrong, and she picking at him saying this is wrong and that is wrong. There is no perfect person. But there is a perfect love, though. And that type of love comes, it is unconditional. And it means that I love you, honey bun, boo, babe, chocolate, whatever you call him or her, you love them despite what's going on. And that's called unconditional love. That's born to love. I was born to love. What does born to love mean? It means that you have the fire of love in you regardless of what the outer circumstances are. You can write that one down. I have love in me regardless of what the outer circumstances are. In other words, regardless of what happens around me, I still show love. Now, yeah, somebody run you over in traffic. This preacher Ella Brown, and I know you run me over in traffic. I don't know if I'm going to say, hey, I love you.
Stop it.
I may not say that. I may not say that. But thank God for tinted windows, because I may do something I ain't got no business doing. I'm being real, because loving is loving in action. And if you real with this thing, you would say, okay, you know what? I need to respond in love. See, that's me being honest with you guys, because even though I'm a preacher, even though I'm an elder, I still want to make sure you understand that, of course, I'm natural. So I don't know that, you know, if you step on my feet, I'm going to say, hey, want a hug? I may not say that. I'm getting there. And if you love me, you'll be praying that I get there. Help me out here, Lakeitha.
Oh, wow. I mean, it's just, you know, you're being honest. You know, we all want to exhibit the love of God, but sometimes it gets very difficult for us. But it's in those difficult times that we really have to press past. We have to press
right
through, you know, because can I tell you, the blessing is in the pressing. Oh, God, that's good. The blessing is the pressing. When you just press through what you're going through, that's when God really, it's kind of like a teacher. When your teacher see, you finally passed this test. Yes. You know, you can get off from this level and go to the next level. I mean, God really wants us to be able to know and understand how to really walk in his godly love. And as Elder Brown was talking, you know, God really just ministered to me about, you know, the reason why a lot of us, especially mostly, I ain't going to say mostly because it's men and women, but I'm going to talk about the ladies because I'm a lady. You know, ladies oftentimes go through a lot of confusion because sometimes we feel like, hey, we give ourselves, I'm going to be transparent on this call today, we give ourselves unto a man and we think that this is love, because the purpose of sex, if we can be real, is an opportunity for a husband and a wife to experience love and to show how much they really love each other. Of course, we know also to procreate. We know that too. But when you are exchanging love in the bedroom, if you will, that is intimate love. And oftentimes when we are having sex, we don't really understand what we are exchanging. The woman, the lady thinks you are exchanging love, and the man just say, hey, this is just another night. You know, and so that's why find women, they're so hurt. You know, you find a lot of women that are single that really want to be in relationships, but they don't really want to go back through the hurt. Like, I gave you my heart, I really love you unconditionally, but then you did this to me. And so for the women, Elder Brown will deal with the men, but for the women, you got to get to the point to where no matter what, you got to learn how to love unconditionally. If Jesus can get beaten, whipped, and tied, and poked in the side, and all pierced in the side, and all that kind of stuff, and still exhibit unconditional love unto, you know, his people, there is no reason why we cannot learn how to walk in unconditional love. Now, 7 days a week, yeah, you might say, okay, Lord, I'm going to pass this test. I've passed it 5 days a week, but on Saturday, Lord, I messed up. God gives you the opportunity to get up, shake yourself off, and start this thing over again. And so women out there, especially single women out there, you need you a husband, okay? I know you strong, you doing this, and you making six figures and all of that, but I always say there needs to be a shepherd in your house. There needs to be a shepherd in your house So allow that brother to be able to show you true love, to be able to show you unconditional love, regardless of the hurt that you still have in your heart from what brother man did 5 years ago. And oftentimes 10 years ago, we carry that hurt because women love really hard. And so women, I just really want to encourage you tonight to, first of all, understand that when you're laying down, understand that you're supposed to be laying down in love. And in order for you to be laying down in love, you should be married. Now, I'm not condemning those who have, you're having sex and you're not married. I'm not condemning you. I have 2 kids, 2 out of wedlock. So I'm not condemning that. But what I'm saying, when you know better, you do better. And so you have to get to the point to where you understand that, hey, my body is so precious. And it is so, when God made me, he broke the mold. You got to get to the point where you just say, hey, this is a precious ruby. I just can't be giving it to anybody. And so you got to get to the point to where you value yourself enough that when a brother steps to you, the aura, the aroma that is on your life, he'll already know that because he'll see that. He know he can't play you like he plays somebody else. Because he'll say, oh, no, I ain't going to be able to do this with this sister. So you got to be so true to yourself. You got to love yourself so much unconditionally, because oftentimes we are hard on ourselves. But you got to learn, women, how to love yourself unconditionally. And then when you begin to walk in unconditional love for yourself, you'll begin to walk into unconditional love for other people. And so when you get into that relationship with your boo, then you'll understand, Lord, I love this man unconditionally. Elder Brown, help me out. So you got to be able to walk in unconditional love.
Yes, you have to. You have to. And there is a difference. And I keep stressing that. Let me explain. I sound like Kevin Hart. Let me explain. The word love is not a Christian word. Let me say that again. The word love, Love, yeah, I know I done hurt some people's feelings on today, but it's okay. Y'all email Akiba. The word love is not a Christian word. It's not. It's not. Just like the word steak, it's not a Christian word. This word love, because it's an action word, we understand because we can look at what God did and we can look at what Jesus did as far as in the action of love, but it was demonstrated to the people on a human level so that we can understand what love is. Okay, you heard it today. Love is not, the word love is not a Christian word. Now, there is a Christian meaning for love, as I mentioned before, the unconditional, the eros, and the agape, because one gives you an idea of God, and then there's the other one that gives you the understanding of humanity. Okay. Now, the other part of this love is that there is a such thing, and I'm going to hurt some feelings today, and I apologize. Again, y'all can email Akiva on this one. There is a such thing as fake love. Yes, I did say that. Fake, meaning it's not real. It's not authentic. Yeah, it's phony. Yeah. Fake, F-A-K-E, love. There is a such thing as fake love. Just like there's a such thing as a fake Coach purse, a fake diamond. Yeah, there's a such thing as fake love. Now, you're probably saying, preach, what in the world is fake love? Well, I thought you never asked. Let me tell you what fake love is. Fake love is an emotion it's an emotion and a thought that someone gives to you based upon a situation or circumstance. Let me give you an example. If you love me, oh, y'all not going to like this. If you love me, jump out this moving car right now. If you love me, take off your jacket so I can walk over a puddle. Okay, no, I'm not done. If you love me, buy me a cell phone. If you love me, give me some of that do-up. See, and what we've done is Many people have done these actions to show or to prove that they love you, but they don't. If you heard earlier, Lakiba was talking about when you're in the bedroom and you have sex with a person and you feel that you're doing this for the right reason, you're doing this because you love this person, do you know that you can give up the goods for someone and you're thinking that you're in love and they're thinking, I just got me some? Right. That shows you that anyone can use this word like it's a badge, like it's a police badge, and show, you know, like you have fake cops, you know, you have fake people, you have fake. Oh my Lord, I'm so far in right now, Lakeith. I better keep going. So there is a such thing that it's not real. You know, oh baby, I love you because I gave you $1,000. Okay, but that $1,000 that he gave you, he won't step back in another form. And it doesn't mean that he loves you. It means that he just paid for what he just got. Same thing when it comes to a woman, is that because she's decided to pump your gas and give you $15 of gas and fix a couple of bologna sandwiches. Oh, man, my wife loved me. My girl loved me. Why? Well, she fixed me sandwiches and had beans on. Let me tell you something. A hood rat or somebody in the street can put on some beans. But real love is unconditional. It means that no matter what is going on, no matter what the circumstance is, I love you regardless. And my love is not based on what you do for me or what you don't do for me. I'm preaching good up in here. So you have to understand that there's a difference between fake love and real love. You have to be able to understand that. And then if you are a woman of God or a man of God, you need to be praying and ask God to, God, give me some clarity so I know that I'm not being punked. Because a lot of us are being punked because we think that we are in some love stuff and you're not. That's that thing called lust, where you just want the goodie. Yeah. There's a difference. There is a difference.
And that's why, as you was talking, that's why the divorce rate is so high, you know, because we don't really understand the value and the meaning of love. We don't. We get caught up in, well, you ain't going to take this house, so I'm going to stay in this house. I'm not. Your Honor, I'm keeping the car. Oh, no, Your Honor, he going to give me half of his bank account. Oh, no, this ain't going to happen. You know, we don't truly understand the meaning of love, and we have to get to that point. And can I tell you, I think I said it even earlier, Elder Brown, this ain't for nobody else. I mean, you can't even be grammatically correct with that. You just got to go hood. This ain't for nobody else, but for you. The love is for you. It's for you. I cannot tell you how many years I just walked around with just, conditional love, like, well, if you don't do this, I'm gonna do. No, it don't even matter, because we're not taught that. And then oftentimes when we are taught that, we grow up and we get out and we start seeing, oh, okay, oh, you said you did this and he bought you a car. Okay, is that the way you're doing it? And it's offensive to true women. And I don't mean to offend anybody, but I have been, and oftentimes I'm in the presence of 7-figure men. Okay. So, meaning men who are making 7 figures. Money ain't no issue. And it's offensive to me when a brother comes up to me and says, oh, I automatically go in defense mode. Like, y'all pray for me. Can you take me? Oh, so what is this, a dinner movie and sex? Bye.
Wow.
And so I take offense to that. But can I tell you, this is what these level of men they're used to. They used to wine and dining you, taking you to a movie, taking you out, and then before you know it, you feel like you owe them something because now, like you said, you purchased something, and now I gotta, you gave me something, I'm cashing in, and so.
Wow, yeah. It's so fake, but it's like it's pretending. You're pretending to, it's almost like being a prostitute. Well, if you buy me this, and I'll give you that, and it's not love.
Right. Absolutely. It's not love at all. It is not love at all. So the whole purpose of this show tonight, which is entitled Born to Love, is just to get everybody around the world. God is calling. There is a mandate, if you will, for everybody around the world to understand what true love is. We have to get out of this superficial. We have to get out of this fake. We have to get out of this conditional. We have to get out of those things that I only love you because of this. you don't do this, that, or the other, I don't, as they say, this, that, and the third, that I don't love you. We have to get out of that. The Bible even says, I believe it's somewhere in John where it says that when you know love, you know God.
You know God, yeah.
Well, I think it's in John somewhere where you know love, you know God. And so I can only encourage you to take some time and really spend some time knowing who God is. It's in 1 John 4:8 where it says, he who does not love does not know God, for God is love. Again, 1 John 4:8, it says, he who does not love does not know God, for God is love. And so if you get to go ahead.
No, that's good. That's good because that's God taking a spiritual connotation from heaven and turning it so it can have a earthly meaning, so we can understand that God loves us so much that he exemplifies what love is. And that's why I told you when I first started out by saying where love stands at, because love is a natural word so that we can understand down here, but God still has to operate love so we know what God is through love. Oh, I'm done.
Oh my God, when God showed me that, I was like, oh my God, he who does not love does not know God. And so can I tell you that's the reason why we got a love problem in the world, because people don't know God? Because if you knew God, we would. They
don't. If they did know God, then what they would do is they will exemplify the characteristics of love. You don't love God if you slapping this girl upside her face talking about she did this and she did that. And you don't love God if you cutting up his tires and burning his clothes with bleach. There ain't no love in that. And here's another thing, and we get rid of, leave the airways, but this other thing, I want to throw it out there. Just because you buy her, I'm talking to the man and then the women, just because you buy her a Lexus does not mean that you love her, because if she cheats on you, you're going to take it back. And vice versa as it relates to the woman buying him a Rolex watch doesn't mean that it does not mean that you love him, because if he do something wrong, you take it back. So does that mean that you gave love and you gave it back, or you take it back? You cannot say that you love based upon things, because if those things were to die, what do you do then?
Wow, that is so good. And you can't even take love back, because once you give it, you can't take love back. Once you give it, that's it. You can't take it back. Yeah.
Let me get a receipt. I like to return my love to Walmart. So you have a receipt? You got a receipt, sir? No, I ain't got a receipt, but I want to return this love, and I don't like it.
And, oh my God, I just heard that. And oftentimes we will go from store to store to store. I'm going to let y'all translate this how you like. We go from store to store to store to store trying to cash in love. Oh my God.
Yeah, trying to cash it in. Sir, do you have a receipt? No. Well, how do we know you got this from here? Oh, my Lord.
So, y'all, I really don't like when it gets to this time, because, this show is our Elder Brown just goes by so very quickly. But we have to be mindful that, right here on 108 Praise Radio, there are other shows that come right behind us. So we don't want to, listeners and supporters, we don't want to come to a close, but we have to come to a close here on the Living Day by Day show. I am Elder Lakiba Wallace. I love you. No matter what you do, you say whatever. I love you unconditionally. I thank you so much for always supporting the Living Day by Day show, the Living Day by Day magazine. Stay tuned. The 3rd annual Women on the Battlefield Conference and Comedy for a Cure. It is coming. October 19th through the 21st. Stay tuned for more details. Had a meeting just about an hour before this show, and so God is moving and doing what he does best, and that's love. So I want you to make sure that you stay tuned for the location and the different speakers that we're lining up for the 3rd annual Women on the Battlefield Conference. Y'all already know Eric E. Love Jordan, comedian Eric E. Love Jordan will be the comedian for the Comedy for a Cure. event. So stay tuned for all those details. Those are coming soon. If you're out there and you want to advertise in a magazine, please hit me up. You can hit Elder Brown up as well. Again, we're all over Facebook, social media, Twitter, all that good stuff. Make sure you just hit us up and let us know, because the October, November, and December edition of the magazine is coming out, and it's going to be absolutely fantastic. So make sure that you get your business card in there, you get your feature in there about your church, your business, whatever God has blessed you with. You make sure you get that blessing into the blessing, which is the Living Day by Day magazine. Check out the website, the platform, all of that at www.livingdaybyday.net. Elder Brown, tell the people how they may be able to reach.
All right, listen, you can reach me on all the social networks, all the platforms. I am on all of them except that kitty stuff Snapchat. I am not on that. I'm a grown man. But I'm everywhere else online. You just type in Preach Elder Brown on Facebook, Preach Elder Brown on YouTube, and Preach Elder Brown on Instagram, and I am all up in there.
Awesome, awesome. Well, again, we thank you so much for tuning in to another broadcast of the Living Day by Day show. This is just a raw and real show. If you're out there and you want to be a guest, you got a word. You got a word like, ooh, born to love.
Yeah,
ooh,
word.
If you got a word, you got something that you want to impart into, how they say, part into God's people, then you make sure that you hit us up, call us. We will afford you the opportunity to come on the Living Day by Day show and talk about, you don't have to be, I'm going to go ahead and say this and then I'm going to be done. You don't have to be a Christian to be on this show, because guess what? The light, the Christian light that is shining so brightly on Elder Brown and I promise you, you're going to get some. I promise
you're going to get some. Yeah.
Now I have to be a Christian to be on this show. So if you're listening out there and you say, hey, nobody won't accept you, we accept you. Come on in and sit down right here on the platform of the Living Day by Day show. We love you so good right here on the set of the Living Day by Day show, and you can't do anything about it. Y'all be blessed.